5:15, I'd like to call on Monday, August 3rd, Board of Public Works Sewer Utility Commission to order. We stand for a pledge of allegiance. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
See no changes, I'd look for a motion.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Ritchie, second by Mr. Barrington to adopt the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's carried. Public input. Hello.
Hi, I'm Madam Waschinsky. I live at 621 West Avenue, corner of Beacon and Oshkosh. And I'm concerned about the traffic going down Oshkosh. It's quite fast. And Robert said I shouldn't step in the street to get them to stop. So I thought that we should put another stop, so maybe a four-way stop there. Somebody said, well, maybe you should have more police, watching, but if I see a cop, I'm gonna go slower. So that's tax dollars. And then the counters that say how fast you're going, that's another expense. So I thought, why not make it a four-way stop? And it costs any more than it's just they really race down the street. And now that we've got the ATVs also, and they're not following the speed limit either. So that's what I'm requesting.
Thanks. Do you have any other public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on. Look for the approval of the June 1st meetings.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Barrington, second by Mr. Ritchie to approve the June 1st Board of Public Works Sewer Utility Commission minutes. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Are carried. Wastewater treatment plant notes. What's that, Robert?
It's me. Did everybody have a chance to look over Ben's notes? And does anybody have any questions on Ben's notes to start off? Okay, so I'll jump to the facility upgrade. I was gonna kind of include that in my director's notes, but I figured this would be a good spot since how in Ben's notes he kind of talked about some of the steps that we're going through. So when was it? That was the Wednesday I was gone. We had a meeting with Donahue. If you could switch to that. So right now, this is like, I think our third set we're on. So this is nowhere near final, but I wanted to kind of go over the way we changed some things to try to, one, take the building out of the parking lot, and that was moved over here. The old plan had the final clarifiers here and here. They were able to move those up here, still keeping a spot if there's expansion to put a third clarifier in that location. The old plan where the clarifiers were here, there was another building. And what happened with that one is we combined two buildings, made it two levels. So you're actually reducing the overall amount of structures, just incorporating some of the processes within a little bit bigger building, but not overly. I mean, I think that changed by 10 foot. But seeing as how some of the pumping processes were there already, they were able to incorporate that. into a single building. Being able to move the clarifiers up the hill. They turned the oxidation ditch, original plan had it like this. They were able to turn it at this location, making some of the piping easier. Kind of cleared up some of the lines and didn't have to do so much crossover. Right now, this building will remain. It's where everything comes in from the city. This hasn't changed either as far as the where haulers would come in and drop off. Right now, we're discussing, originally there was supposed to be a 24-inch force main bringing everything up to the Headworks building. And with some of the pumps and the pump curves, they're thinking that they might switch to two 12-inch, which you're not, I mean, 24-inch pipe is very expensive. And so really it's almost a wash running two 12-inch, but that's still in discussion, and they're working through all the pumping dynamics that go into that. Where the outfall is, everything will come out 30-inch line. At this point, it switches to 24 and crosses. And the outfall, of course, everyone knows it's out there in the river. They're looking at putting a structure in there that will accommodate that 30-inch at the same time maintaining that 24-inch. So as they work through the switchover, both plants can be functional at the same time in case any issues come up with the new design or the new plant, any issues, that they can keep that old one running while they work through it. And going from 30 to 24, they were concerned. They ran all the numbers even at peak loading, and that reduction down to 24 going out to the river is not an issue. Does anybody have any questions on this layout? Like I say, this is where we're at right now. There might be still some fine tuning to do, but I wanted to make the board aware of where we're at right now. Also the rate study, we're working through that, getting all the information between Ben, myself, and Judy, so they can hopefully have that all ready to go by the October Board of Public Works meeting. So, and the influent pump failure, learned a lot about. I mean, I know you stick a pump in a hole and it'll pump water, but when you're looking at large pumps such as these, they work on a certain curve. And when you exceed or go outside that curve, even though that pump's running at 100%, it creates other issues with it, which in turn is the reason why that one failed. We're just hoping that the rest of them keep running or operating like they are now. It's something when those pumps run at 100% for 4 days straight, and we really had no other option during the flood that you had to run them, and it was surcharging the way it was. But we're hoping that they still, the ones that are running well, keep running well, and once we get this other one in, they'll do a clean out of that pit again, and then kind of check over the other motors now that they've been running quite a while after the flood. Does anybody have any questions?
They have less than a 2-year warranty on the pumps?
It's not a less than 2 years, it's just what was damaged on it, they said what they're gonna cover still hasn't been determined yet. Because of the loading that it took on, it was out of design. Because that pump's supposed to run on that curve, and when you exceed it. So they're still working with us as far as what the actual cost will be.
What's the normal amount of pumps that are running, like on an average, like today?
Like today, one pump will run at about 30 to 40% depending on time of day, and they rotate. So that
So
way
they're on
all
time.
four,
So they're all running, yeah, at different times.
you know, when you're in the higher, like the springtime, when we're getting more I, then up to 2, maybe 3 will run. But they try to keep that percentage down, just add pumps running at one time.
And there's 4 of them in the pit, right?
4, correct,
And during the flood, all 4 were screaming at 100% for
4 days.
days.
When we build a new one, plant, what will those pumps take? Are we going to have to put in a bigger pump in case we run into this problem in the future?
They actually looked at the loadings of these pumps and up into, I think it was 5 million that these pumps were capable of doing that. If you put in bigger pumps to try to manage that one-time occurrence, then your curve, then you're operating below your curve a lot of times, even with a variable speed motor. And so they're trying to hit that happy medium to where you're running the curve all the time, still have the capacity up to what our design capability is, because that's what they have to do is set everything up to the design of the plant. And I think it was 5 million was the like peak. It's just when you have these once in a hopefully 100 years occurrence that you're gonna run outside that curve.
Those are the other 3 pumps that are running.
I don't think any of them are older than 12 years old.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, thanks, Robert. Move on to discussion of possible action for additional stop signs on Oshkosh Street.
Okay, in my memo, I kinda spelled everything out. Speed has always been a concern for residents that live on Oshkosh Street. The PD helped me out with analyzing the speed. Unfortunately, for that second step, like I said in my notes, for Pine Street, we're only able to capture 11-hour window. And then both batteries went bad, so by the time Chief got the new batteries in, it's actually going out sometime this week to capture more at the Pine Street location. As you can see, 92% of the vehicles that traveled in this time period were 30 miles an hour and under. So that even accounts, let's say, 3/4 of that 26 to 30 were doing 26, it still falls under that bracket. As you can see, there are some in the 31 to 35, 7.8%, and in the 36 to 40, there was a 0.5% that registered out of the 64 cars out of the 12,322. Everything, like I said in my memo, you know, I am not a traffic engineer. I know things they look at based off of some of the ones that I went through, like out at House and Alcan for that reading and trying to get the speed limit lowered to 45. And some of the aspects that they look at is one, the classification of the street. So this one in our municipal code, I have down there, it's considered an arterial by the code language, although it acts more like a collector street. But being a arterial / collector street, they have minimal stops. They're designed to collect traffic from local roads and take that traffic and disperse them to arterials to move in and out of town. The design aspect of it, it is set up as a collector. Adding additional stop signs, I don't know, would be a cure-all for speed on that street. It's on an average acceleration. For a normal person, you reach 30 miles an hour at anywhere from 120 to 150 feet on average. That's not stepping on. Most of those block segments are anywhere from 280 to 300, except for you have a 770-foot stretch of Washington to Pine. So they're more than able to reach that 30-mile-an-hour speed limit mid-block after a stop sign. As they say, placing excessive stop signs on a collector street, you know, it creates unnecessary stops, increased delays, noise, emission. Also some of the other stuff that isn't written by an engineer, but they say it can lead to the stop and go. Well, if you're gonna put up another stop, then I'm gonna accelerate faster and then slow down faster to the next stop. Not so much a racing aspect, but like I said, I wish I had more additional one for at Pine, where we only had that 11-hour window, and that was from 11 a.m. and then it kind of started ticking on and off around 10, 11, midnight. Those numbers were kind of sporadic in the readout.
So Robert, just to be clear, that this is saying that 92% of the vehicles traveled 30 miles and under.
Correct.
Okay, that's the accumulation of 92 right there.
I did have a conversation with Chief Wilson. He sat out there and it's unmarked, not for, I think he said around a half an hour. He had one vehicle that exceeded 30 miles an hour in that time frame.
Why did they set it up at Cook Street? Why didn't they set it up at Beacon? Because your speed's gonna increase from Cook Street to Beacon. Because then they don't have to stop again until they get to Washington Street.
It actually reads both directions, and for those directions, they were almost identical. That's why I didn't separate north and southbound, because they were all right in that. And I wanted to capture some of that downhill movement too, to see if that northbound traffic was increasing, because I've had conversations with the resident by Spring Street and that, and they said they come down the hill so fast. So I wanted to capture that full run in both directions, and I was surprised how, whether you're north or southbound, they were very similar.
Guess one of my thoughts was Oshkosh Street is obviously lower volume than Wyman. And Wyman don't have any more stop signs. Actually, it's less.
As one, and it's classified as a arterial.
This is meant to be this, say, the second thoroughfare through the city. I don't think I see a need for additional stop signs.
Yeah, but that's 2 blocks away. And you're talking Lyman Street. There's no schools, no churches. There's nothing there. I ride my bike there in the fall. This is when school's in session. And there are kids coming to the bus stop. I like going early morning, sometimes I ride in the afternoon, and it is busy. And people are in a hurry in the mornings, get their kids to school, things like that. And I don't think it's a bad idea to put a stop sign somewhere in that area, especially, you know, at Beacon Street, that is busy. And all these kids, I watch them, they come up and they walk to the bus stop up on Beacon Avenue and they cross Oshkosh Street to get to the bus. So I think there is a concern there for, because there is, like I said, school, the pool's there. There's a lot of stuff there. You got the Methodist Church, ballpark. I mean, and like I say, Wyman Street's 2 blocks away. Somebody wants to go on, not hit any stop signs, just go up a block Pine Street and get on Wyman. Yeah, that's my feelings.
Any other thoughts?
Me, you start changing too much, all you're gonna do is you're gonna put you're gonna put probably more traffic on Wyman. And in 6 months, we're gonna have people coming complaining Wyman Street. And then pretty soon, we're gonna have the same thing on Winter Island Boulevard. Because those 3 streets are running roughly. We've got to move traffic through somehow. To put too many stop signs in, I think you create more of a problem.
I wish we had more arteries going east and west to go from one side. I don't know, when stop signs I gotta hit to go to Quick Trip. Unbelievable. But yeah, I agree with you guys. I think that, you know, yes, you know, it's nice to have people drive slower but having, you know, Wyman Division, there's a school there as well. There's not stop signs, you know, an additional stop sign there. So, I mean, I guess I don't think it's necessary.
Any further comments or additions? So we looking for a motion or?
No, I didn't have this unless you wanted additional, then we would take it further. I don't know if that warrants a yay or nay with the group as far as, because they put possible action on the
So-
agenda.
Yep, it is on the agenda that someone could make a motion to put a stop sign there, and that would be seconded and voted on, or no motion. And then it just kind of sits for now. You can table it. You can ask Robert for more information from something regarding something.
I make a motion to table it until school starts, because then you'll see actually how many kids walk up Oshkosh Street and cross Oshkosh to get to school.
Would you like a speed study during that time?
Yep. Cause then you're gonna have more traffic than you got right now.
Is there a possibility? I mean, if we, as a committee, don't think a stop sign is an option, is there possibility to put some more school zone signs?
Absolutely.
To put them on an extra additional block each way, each direction? Cause that way, I mean, reduce speed, you're gonna get a bigger fine. I mean, that could be a happy medium,
You had a motion on the floor, so.
Yep.
I would
or
finish
just
that up.
discussion.
Mhm.
You got a motion on the floor? I get a second?
I'll second it. It wouldn't hurt to have a little more information when we've got school.
Motion made by Mr. Ritchie, second by Mr. Barrington. Any further discussion? And that's why I'll throw in there, maybe we could look at the possibility of doing some school zone signs. Maybe down to Cook, up to Pine. I don't know exactly where they're at in there.
Yeah, and I have to look at the statutes.
Statutes and stuff.
Yep.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Opposed. So motion carried. It'd be 2, 4, 6 to 1. I agree, something's gotta be done. So get it right. Do a little more discussion on when school's there and see what happens. All right, thanks. We're on agreement of demand for design engineering of the new Sled Hill location.
Okay, so any of you that were here for the Park and Rec, this is the same one, but being that it has to do with wastewater element involved, because we'll be removing that and bringing it to this location. I just wanted to run it through this committee as well to make sure, for this board as well, to make sure that everybody was okay with this agreement for the sledding hill and design and movement.
One of our
Okay, go ahead.
One of our discussions at Park and Rec was how we're gonna get that dirt there. And is there a possibility we can go in like through the back?
Yeah, I looked at that area where it kind of widens in the back.
Yep.
And when you're on that trail, you can see the building, city garage.
Yep.
And it would be more to the east, Chad.
Oh.
Oh, here we go.
Why don't you drive?
So, yeah, sitting right here, you can visibly see the corner of the building. It is pretty low there. I know it does hold water during, I mean, a good portion of the spring for sure, and I know that's when they're starting. Whether they can put in those temporary mats and
Yep.
stuff when they're doing any type of overhead wires and stuff, you see those big mattings they pull with a dozer. I did check out the rest of this trail, depending on what type of vehicles they are using. Some of this area here, probably have to take off, I don't know, 4 or 5 limbs on each one of these pine to open it up to get a truck through, and being that this is all gravel to a certain point, probably right in here, I believe. There'd be, whoa. Here, let's move that back. There we go. Yeah, I'm definitely concerned about running all those loaded trucks on Warner Allen. And, you know, any of this is pretty easy to fix up versus trying to repair a street that's not that old compared to most.
Get that on the radar, I would think.
Oh, yeah, so I definitely brought it up into discussion with Donahue, because we have to do work with the DNR on a lot of those stormwater permits and all that anyways, so from that aspect, yeah, definitely.
Chad, what did you have?
I was just gonna say that, to clarify, Robert, so this agreement with McMahon is just for the design.
Design,
You know,
yep,
whatever the design ends up to be, that's gonna be thrown into the bid packet for the treatment plant rebuild, right?
whether that's thrown in there or not, I'm still trying to work out all the kinks with Judy and funding and what's gonna be actually covered by the clean water funding or can be.
Okay.
But I know for sure it can be deposited there. Everything, the hauling, that whole portion definitely, because they have to remove it no matter what. And they have to go somewhere with it no matter what. So that portion, yeah, 100%. But whether this qualifies, I know we're in discussion trying to figure out everything that can and cannot be included.
So probably hauling be included, but maybe
Oh, yeah,
the
yep,
actual, creation of the hill, once the dirt is there, might be different.
and if they're on that short of a run, it'd be no different than the run they did with the good Oshkosh material up the Partridge. They stationed their own dozer right there, they just kept on pushing. And whether you push it into a sled hill, all the better. But it'd be nice to have that design in place.
Mhm.
That way, when that starts occurring, they can push it to that design.
And if the cost is an issue, then I would hope they take into consideration what it would be to go around on Warner Allen versus coming across there. Because you shut Warner Allen off with the trucks hauling down through there at school time and stuff, there's a lot of traffic on that road going to school. So I think cutting through the woods is a whole lot better idea.
I definitely like it. I mean, there's minimal, I think there was maybe 4, 6 to 8 inch trees, one 20-inch tree that's already completely dead, and some other scrub brush that would have to be removed, so you're not losing a lot, it's just, will they let us put in that temporary and then restore it after we're finished? That would be ideal by far.
Any other comments? You looking for a motion for this then? On our end, or? You looking for a motion then?
Make a motion to have McMahon design engineer the new Sled Hill location.
Motion made by Mr. Roberts, second Mr. Ritchie. To agreement with McMahon for design engineering for the new Sled Hill location. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Keep it rolling, Robert, director's report.
All right, as we talked about a little bit, for the meeting, we did, send 2 flatbed trucks and, 2 personnel to Menasha on Wednesday and Thursday to help them with the tornado recovery. We're part of probably, I don't know, at last count, it was between 12 and 14 other communities that went down there to try to assist to at least open up their streets. We tracked all our time and equipment hours, things of that nature, because when Menasha, it wasn't so much Menasha reaching out as all of us getting together. They will be looking at funding for this disaster, so down the road, it'll be stuff that I would submit to Menasha. It was nice to see that kind of support from areas north of Green Bay, down to Oshkosh, out west. There was a lot of, and surprised by the amount of equipment, because a lot of Green Bay area, they even hauled their loaders with tink claws down there, multiple dump trucks, just to try to get the streets open for them. So it was nice to see that kind of response. Mill Street Beacon Avenue project, we're in, the design phase, mostly focused on the Mill and Beacon intersection. We're working through some of the turn movements that trucks most commonly take. And then trying to work in the pedestrian crossing piece right now. Also, Speedy Clean will be out there in the next couple weeks. We have to get out there to re-verify some laterals. There's questionable ones that we want to make sure we get right on the plan. So they'll be out there doing that work in the coming weeks. Downtown lighting. So in 2024, we had the main downtown project. And when Van Aert installed all the decorative downtown lighting, they could not provide the necessary BABA compliant certificates for those luminaires, arms, poles, flag holders, bases. So what this means is ever since spring of 25, between the DOT and Van Aert and the Prime Zenego and myself, me more as a bystander because it's the state holding Zenego and their subcontractors to the contract, which they have to use BABA compliant material. So Build America, Buy America, they have to provide all that certification. So they have found matching luminaires, poles, bases, arms are they're very close. So for a normal person, you probably won't notice it. They have yet to send me a sketch. But all of those will be taken down and replaced with BABA compliant. And the reason why we're losing the paint on those bases is when they originally brought them in, the keyholes on the poles were too low to accommodate the base. So they had to cut that base down by 2 inches. When they did that cutting, it took and pretty much made the paint unadhered to the metal that was on it. So that's why you see them down there, that some of those bases look pretty bad. So I got word from them last week that they're finalizing the components that are strictly for the decorative lighting. And once they have that out and a schedule put together, I will be informed on when they'll be in town to do that. And they won't come in here and go on both sides of the street. I said it's got to be one at a time, section off a area, do those couple poles, move your operation down. So when I get word, I'll definitely let everybody know. Mini Park, that monitoring wells should go in at the end of the month. They're coming on the 24th to mark out the locations where they want to put them. They bring in their own team to do all the locating of any utilities and adjust from there. Once they have those identified, they plan on doing it on the 26th to put in those 5 monitoring wells at Mini Park site. And out at Partridge Drive, the extension to the east off of Shawano Street, the wetland delineation is almost complete out in that area where we kind of ended our push of the with the base from Oshkosh Street. Once that is complete, we'll be able to extend that, to the end. We're working through some stormwater aspects out in that area as well with the new apartment complexes that are off of Hanchke and Partridge. So that's all in the works. And that's all I have for my report. Does anybody have any questions?
You want to talk about service anniversaries?
Oh. What happens when I go off my typed one instead of the? Yes, because I missed them last month because we did not hold a meeting. Ben Groyle, lead wastewater operator, 26 years, on July 3rd, and Luke Evans, superintendent, 11 years, July 28th. And that is all I had.
Thanks, Robert. Future
Thank you.
agenda items? Obviously, we're gonna have the sewer plant.
Yeah, we're down to weekly meetings now, and that'll probably occur through September for sure. Will be weekly meetings on it for just the funding aspects of it.
Anybody else comes up with any agenda items? Let us know.
I was just kind of curious, I don't know what meeting this should be brought up at, but I've been approached by several people in town asking about flock cameras. Is that a public works thing? Maybe have a discussion about it if we have flock cameras or there's
I
been
think it's more of a law enforcement.
police and fire
police and
commission,
fire
but
commission, maybe.
I don't know, that one's kind of, they do their own thing. We don't have a lot of councilmen go to that meeting, so I just didn't know if we could maybe have a conversation about it, or should I go to that commission? Okay, I
I'll
guess
go to
we
the
can do
commission.
that. So I didn't know if the public works installed them, monitor
Nope.
them, or anything like that, so.
Nope.
Okay,
We are 100% hands off of that.
Okay.
Other than right away permits back in the day.
I have one question for you. I should have asked it before. But what has gonna happen with that warming shelter or whatever they call it, where the restrooms are? How about a sewer treatment plant?
The existing one that's right by
Yeah.
the treatment plant.
Yeah. What's gonna happen to that?
As of now, it looks like it'll remain.
I'm just curious, because I know a lot of people use that restroom for the boat launch. I'm just curious what was gonna
Yep.
happen. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't narrowed down where the actual force mains are gonna go. But being that that's a sound building, there'd be no reason that they couldn't work around that. For sure.
Seeing that this is new pavement, does it make sense they're gonna bring the pipe through that area?
And they could, yes.
You got anything else?
Anything been brought up about they were saying where the basketball courts is that in the future talked about repairing the basketball courts if you put the sled hill there and then using it for an ice rink?
I think that'll be a Parks and
That'll
Rec
be Park
committee
and Rec.
discussion.
Oh, that's on yours.
Yep.
Anything else? Next Board of Public Works meeting will be August 31st at 5:15.
Up through the holiday in September.
Or just the timing of the month, because we do the
That too.
counts on the 15th and back 2 weeks would be this week for committee meetings.
Should work. Anybody got anything else? Fifth is,
so we'd actually have it on August 31st.
Yes.
Yeah, we've done that because the council meeting's always the third Tuesday of the month. And then we back up 2 weeks for those 3 committee meetings.
hear nothing else, gonna look for a motion for adjournment. Motion made by Mr. Barrington, second for Mr. Ritchie for adjournment. Any further discussion?